Recognize Representative Titus.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, Madam Secretary. Just to change the direction a little bit, I would like to talk about what's happening in the Eastern Mediterranean. I sent a letter to the President with 21 of my colleagues just recently about a meeting between President Trump and President Erdogan. This came as he was having a number of phone calls, and we anticipated a meeting. We wanted to ask the President to bring up certain topics that are important, both with our relations to Turkey and with Turkey's relations to Greece and other countries in the area, whether it's the missile incursions or it's the airspace or the water rights or the F-35s, all of those things we wanted to hear about. We got a letter back, but after there was a meeting and it was just kind of pablum, it was just boilerplate. I have the letter that we sent. I'd like to ask unanimous consent to enter it into the record, Mr. Chairman, so you can see more detail about what we were asking about. So we sent the letter. We got back some boilerplate answer that didn't really answer anything, wasn't worth the paper it was written on. And then we found out that a meeting did take place. It was on the sidelines of the NATO summit. It finally happened after the phone calls, and so we reached out to the State Department asking for a briefing about what occurred because there was no readout, and we didn't know what went on in that meeting except we heard something from Erdogan's office saying everything was great and there was positive movement on the F-35s. So we didn't get any information back from the department. You circumvented our attempts to do oversight. Meantime, the president's saying this is the most transparent administration you've ever seen. So now I'm fortunate to have you here before us, so maybe we can get an answer. I'd like to ask you what happened at that meeting between the president and President Erdogan.
Thank you, Congresswoman, and thank you for your letter. I have not seen your letter, but I look forward to seeing it since it's been put into the record. I am not able to speak to the specifics of what was spoken at those meetings. As you know, those meetings are bilateral engagements, are the very specific issues are confidential. But I can say our policy on the F-35 program, on Turkey, and that issue have not changed. As long as Turkey has their S-400 program, we're not able to move forward with the F-35 program.
Well, that part's reassuring, so that's one of the things we addressed. But if you'll look at that letter and maybe get back to us on some of the other things that we're concerned about, because Turkey is not a very reliable ally in a number of areas, and this is such an important geopolitical area right now with Israel, with Cyprus, with Greece, with Turkey, that I think we need to be more informed about it, and it's your office as well. I want to go back to the RIF issue, too. I wonder, you mentioned that maybe some mistakes were made with the RIFing, and did y'all do a written analysis showing that the people who were dismissed were indeed the lowest performers, that there was some reason that these people were chosen? And if you did do an analysis, can you share it with us? And if you didn't, how'd you pick these people that you just gave the axe to?
Congresswoman, thank you for your question. I don't think I said that I thought mistakes were made. I just want to clarify for the record, the beginning of your statement there. I didn't say that mistakes were made in the reduction in force.
So you don't think any mistakes were made?
But you said that I had mentioned that.
I guess maybe I should have been more precise. That was the implication I got. Maybe you didn't. Maybe you don't think any mistakes were made. And if you don't, can you tell us how you made those choices?
Thank you, Congresswoman, for that question. The reduction in force effort. I think Deputy Secretary Regas went through in great detail last week and the process that was conducted to make those determinations. There was consultation taken both at senior levels and at the workforce levels where comments were provided from, and I think Deputy Secretary Regas mentioned the number around 650 comments that were provided to State Department
Okay, well, so
leadership.
you have some rationale, so maybe we could see that rationale so we can explain to these people why they got fired. Were some expectant mothers in this group, some families that were just got the axe just overnight. How are they getting home, and how's their health insurance covering them for these babies that they're expecting to have that they weren't anticipating just being laid off suddenly? Did you take that into account?
Thank you, Congressman, for your follow-up question. As I said, and as Deputy Secretary Riga said, the determinations that were made on the closures of offices and the resulting reduction in force cuts that were made, that was to eliminate redundancies and to streamline processes in the State Department. It was not a personal matter. It was removal of
Doing anything to
redundant
help
functions.
these women in any kind of soft landing?
Gentlelady's time has expired.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.